audience
Let's
to
do
see our
it.
charts? I can't wait.
Yes. So basically, what I did here, and just for anybody that is interested, what you need in order
Oh,
to
Kyle, before you do our charts, can you please tell our audience where they can get their chart from you?
Absolutely. So I am Kyle Thomas, and my website is kylethomasastrology.com. I have a contact page, and you can input your information there and then to get a personal reading with me.
Love it.
My Instagram is where I post a lot of my content, so it's Mr. Kyle Thomas, MrKylethomas. But I also release a ton of exclusive content on my Patreon.
Okay.
So like it's patreon.kylethomasastrology, but it has tons of horoscopes.
Wait, you said that so fast our audience can't hear it.
Patreon.com / Kyle Thomas Astrology. That's the one that I'm really excited about building right now because I'm actually releasing horoscopes like months and weeks in advance.
I love that.
So people
'cause
subscribe
Yeah.
and they get personal or not, well, they get exclusive content.
Got it.
This show's also on YouTube, so they're going to get to be able to watch it. It'll
Yeah.
be in the meta tags at the
Oh, I
bottom.
love, okay,
so
cool.
there could be a link, and they can just
Yeah.
hyperlink it.
Well,
Absolutely.
I'll send that. But then again, you know, I do release horoscopes like of the month. You can get that for free on my website. I go very in depth. I have the whole year up there. But if you do want, you know, a closer connection to my content and exclusive content and months in advance, you should certainly sign up for the Patreon.
But I also saw when I was looking at some of your stuff that you do put some of the celebrities' astrology stuff out there. That-
Yes. Oh, so just to kind of clarify with that.
Yeah.
So I obviously can talk about celebrities. They're
Sure.
pop culture icons.
Yeah, of course.
So I do that in horoscopes. I do that in, you know, interviews and
Right.
Yeah,
we
like
can
I
talk-
want to know that Gwyneth Paltrow's
Yeah,
going through
yeah.
the same thing I am right now.
Yeah, I can talk about all the nuances of that.
Yeah.
But regardless if I have or have not personally worked with
Yes.
them,
You don't say that.
I can't.
Yeah.
Well,
Right. You don't.
I can't
You
anymore.
don't confirm or
Like,
deny, basically.
Yeah. I mean,
get it.
and it's there are certain ones you can probably like assume that I've done.
Yeah.
Because you can sort of read into it.
Like
as,
Cher.
You can
Kim
see it
K.
like you can see it as it comes through like certain things I write or certain things I say.
Got
But in order because of the
Demi
NDAs
Moore.
and
I get it.
because of that I want to be legally protected and
100%.
I just you know
Yeah, no
it's
problem.
kind of like I'm a therapist.
No,
you
Let's
know?
talk
get
about
So-
me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Just tell me about me.
Anyways, all right. So let's put up here.
And I'm not afraid for you to be able to share anything you want to with the audience.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right, let's see
Just
here.
tell me. I want to know.
So this is,
And I want to know if this is going to last.
Babe, it's 21 years. Of course it's going to fucking last.
I don't know.
Okay, here we are.
Oh, Jesus.
All right,
Let's ask
so
the professional.
this here. All right. So this, you guys are the first people that I'm like bringing my iPad to look at.
Ooh.
So this here,
Oh,
yeah.
look at that chart.
So interesting.
This is your. This is the natal chart.
Oh my God.
This is
Okay.
Paul's
What
or
is
mine?
that?
This is yours.
Paul's.
And
this
so
is
what we
Paul's
can
for people
see
that
here-
are listening and not watching.
Yeah, and so the natal chart, obviously, it has 12 houses, and we can see where all of the placements of the planets are.
So
That's
interesting.
beautiful.
So if
I've
you
never
do get,
seen that.
yeah, if you do get a reading with me, you know, I look this up, I double check it. However, the one that's more important for me here is the one with all of the degrees, and this is what actually can show and talk to me about, you know, let's see how the planets are interacting and when and how things are going to take place. Now,
Got it.
when we are looking at astrology, people typically, especially if you're like a newbie or intermediary, we talk about the big three. Have you ever heard of the big three?
I have.
Great. So
But
the big three.
explain to our audience in
Yes.
case they
So,
haven't.
so the big three are your sun sign, which is tied to your date of birth.
Yep.
And I usually say that like makes up like anywhere from 30 to 60% of a prediction at any time because the sun is the brightest force in our solar system.
Sure.
The sun's orbit.
Strongest energy,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
so powerful. It shows where you see your light. So
Yeah.
for you are a Capricorn sun. So the traits and energies of Capricorn are always going to be there. Now, Capricorn is a cardinal sign. They like to be leaders. They're very disciplined. They tend to be very methodical about everything. They're disciplined not only of themselves but of other people.
Yes.
They like to
True.
rise to managerial roles. They like to
Yes.
be. They're very. You know. They're like the business head of the
In
zodiac.
charge.
They really like
Control.
not
So
talk.
yeah, no. So they're they do have those traits. Again, when you're reading a horoscope,
Yeah.
you're gonna read for certainly Capricorn.
Sure.
However, by your exact time of birth and all of the information that we had here from esoteric astrology, which is like the spiritual version of astrology and myth, we say that the rising sign is the moment that your soul entered your body. So that moment that you entered the world and came forth, wherever the sun was rising in that zodiac sign, that determines how you are as a human being and present yourself. And so
you have records of that. Like there's records of
well,
so interesting.
well, it's computed by your place, date, and time of birth.
Got it.
So that's why
you
it's all,
asked me those 3 questions.
Exactly. So we need all of that. So for you, this dictates not only like career choice and everything, but you're a Libra rising. So Libra risings are super focused on aesthetics, beauty. Everything is very put together. They intellectualize their emotions, but they tend to be very artistically inclined. They're ruled by Venus. They tend to be, it's interesting, they always need a partner. They always need a partner. If they don't have a partner, they freak out. So they need
That is so Paul.
They can't do anything
That
alone.
is so
They
fucking
always need a
Paul.
partner. Always. And it's
even when I have the remote in my hand, I'm like, babe, could you change the channel?
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, but
And-
you could.
but I
no,
need-
but
but
I
I-
need you
but
to
you
do
need,
it.
But you need. It's the part of it is that you because you love and crave partnership. It's the kind of energy where you like. You think life is more valuable by going through it
But
with
I
someone.
can too. But I could be solo. I could go do my own thing.
Well, we'll
talk
we'll
about
talk
you
right in a
right
second, right? So again, these are important things. So when you are reading a horoscope, you're gonna now for the rest of your life certainly read for Capricorn, but you're also going to read for Libra. And what is going to happen here is like, let's say in your horoscope for Capricorn, it's like, oh, there's a big month for money and whatever. Then you'd read for Libra, and then it could be like, oh, it's a big month for something with family. And then by reading in tandem, you'd be like, oh, there's something that's shifting with money and family. So you'd understand that the cross patterns are always going to be there. Again, getting an in-depth reading with a professional like myself is going to be even much more nuanced than that.
Sure.
Now, the third piece of the big three is the moon sign.
Okay.
And it's tied to where the moon was, obviously, at that moment of birth.
Oh.
Yep.
And it's tied to your emotions, your intimate relationships,
Oh.
and is extremely important and tied to the soul. You have a Pisces moon. So
You
a
do?
Pisces moon.
I have a
A Pisces moon is like super like you're a sponge. You can sense things like a psychic. You walk in, you can sense if someone has good or bad energy. But the problem about
I know
this energy,
somebody's pregnant from a mile
Yeah.
away.
but the problem about some of this energy though is that because you're such like an open sponge.
I'm
Someone
exhausted.
could like have negative energy and you walk in and you're like, oh, I don't know why. I just feel
I
like-"
know.
Yeah, but it also
That
is in
is
the
so
positive.
true.
So if someone also
Yeah.
has great energy, then you're like, I've got
Yeah.
I
Yes,
got some
I got a
zest
pep.
today. Yeah. So again, you have a very thin layer between the cognition and the spiritual realm and intuition. So those are again, that's just 3 pieces of your
And
chart
so when
here.
I tell you I'm exhausted, it wasn't that I was tired. It was that bitch that walked in the room, and I was like, "Get her out of here because I can't feel it."
Like energetic vampires are extremely dangerous for you, and it's hard for you, especially if you're not protecting yourself.
Yes.
You can be zapped very easily, and the more that you're more aware of it, the more that you're going to be able to have barriers and boundaries. Like anyone with a Pisces placement, I always say that, or any water sign placement, to be honest. Which water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So
I had no idea.
yeah, so there's that. Now, we can obviously break down your chart into a million other ways, too. So I have this on my app here, and so...
And you're going to send us all this so we can look at all later.
Yeah. And
go
what I
through
would
it.
encourage for you is, like I said, it's very enlightening to be like, okay, wow, like I do have these traits, or these are the kinds of things. Now, now I want to talk a little bit about what is going on in the transits and where your life is headed for right now. Okay. So the first thing that I want to mention here is...
And he's talking about Paul
Wait,
still.
is it easier?
Letting our audience know.
Is it easier to identify those components about him right now?
No, let him do
so
you.
that I
No,
have
let's do
a
mine afterwards.
reference.
We're going to do mine afterwards.
No, let's focus on you because I want to keep
Okay.
in your vibe here.
Okay.
So
My
the
husband
first thing
always
that I
wants to
want to
control.
mention is you technically are in one of the luckiest periods in your entire life, and I'll tell you why. Now, there is, and this energy is really going to start to be activated. It has been over the last couple months, but is going to really become even more significant. This is because Jupiter is in your natal chart's 9th house. And this empowers you around everything to do with international relations, international business, international clients. This has to do with travel. This has to do with legalities, and it also could be like important media projects and television or podcasting or any of these kinds of things. There's going to be some really significant transitions and luck around these things from now until August of this year.
I love that.
Okay, so I wouldn't be shocked if you do have, I would say probably 2 new media projects that come in, or 2 big trips that are going to happen. There's something about 2.
2.
There's something about 2 of
I
that.
always thought that was my favorite number.
Well, this area of your chart's ruled by Gemini, and it's a dual sign, so that's why there's 2.
2.
So there's that. However, you're in your natal chart. When you were born, Jupiter was at 24 degrees of Gemini, and this is also going to be, it's going to unite with it. And so this is going to happen in particular, I'm going to say about, this is going to take place around, May is one of the luckiest months that you're going to have in a 12-year cycle. So for you, I want you to think about like, okay, if I know that I'm like hitting the jackpot and I'm lucky, not only are lucky things going to happen to you, but you want to plant seeds. So this goes back to how I'm teaching people how to manifest.
Yeah.
So if you know you're like, oh shit, I'm extra lucky, you should be investing in stuff. You should be focusing on either raising your rates or do a big promotion, launch a big project, pitch a big client, pitch a big VIP, like whatever it be, doesn't really matter.
Yes.
I love
All of those
that.
things
I
are
love
going to be, but you're super, super lucky. May is like I said, pretty much the luckiest month that you're going to have in a 12-year cycle.
May.
Yeah, this May.
Interesting.
So, and I'm not making this, but the other thing that I want to, the other thing I'm so excited for you too, is so starting in August, because I was looking this up. It starts in August, and it's going to go into, what was that? I have to look up that again. It's like over a year.
Wow.
You're gonna have over a year where Jupiter's gonna be in your career sector. So
And that's good.
Oh yeah. So you're gonna have some of the best career recognition and fame and projects that all happen after that. So it's
So I start in May, and then it goes for a full year thereafter.
no. So this energy for the career stuff goes until August, or starts in August.
Oh, starts in August.
Yeah. So all this other stuff
and then
goes
a
until
year
August.
after.
Yeah. So it's super, super.
Wow,
That's
that's
interesting.
Yeah,
exciting.
and it's because Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the sun. And again,
Oh.
this is because I'm looking at the exact degrees of your chart.
Right.
It's not just Capricorns in general.
Yeah.
It's you.
It's me.
Yeah. So really,
Oh my
yeah.
God, this
so,
is the perfect time for me to have this.
yeah. You
very cool.
you really need to like again, be looking at this stuff, re-listen to this. But I'm really happy for you and excited because. Again, from the predictive standpoint, I'm never wrong because I know that there's going to be these cycles that are being activated.
Right.
But I want you to get the most of the value.
So that I know what to prepare for, or how to be able
Exactly.
But we have
to-
some irons in the fire, so that's very interesting.
Again, that's why, like, because of the way that this is, I would say that there's like 2 either big media projects that you either get involved with or you've been involved with that are coming forward again, or even if you just sign the contracts, but by that point in time and they debut later on, that's possible too.
And then it's just the fact that it's
Wow.
initiating.
Exactly. With
I
the
like
cycle.
That's
this.
very cool.
Yeah, so that's really strong. I love that energy. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to quick pop up for you. I do want you to watch your health a little bit. There is an energy around. I mean, this is also a natural thing that I think you can do. Saturn is currently in your natal sixth house, which represents productivity. So on one hand, it can feel like that you're drowning under work, and you just like you've been doing this for like over a year. It's like you can never. You have 18 million responsibilities. You just literally can't. So what sometimes happens around this is
How did you know? We were just discussing this before you even came.
because
today.
I'm looking at his chart. so it's just like it's your productivity is really challenging you right now.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's the kind of thing that if you don't actually assess and create a better work-life balance, you're going to get sick. And sometimes it creates
I've
chronic.
tried to explain
Sometimes
this.
it can create chronic problems. So if I would say probably over the last year, you're either noticing more fatigue that's taking place, or there's situations that are popping up around your diet, fitness, or health.
That's what I explained.
Yeah. And so it's actually because of the chart, and this is going to continue in particular pretty much until like 2027. So it's important now to look at it. And this
Yeah.
is why, some
Go to the gym.
Some astrologers would be like doom and gloom
When?
on stuff.
Go to the gym.
When?
But that's why I'm looking at it and being like, these factors are present.
Right.
This is how we can potentially move you in a direction of actually
So it's
improving it.
realizing certain things that are so present that I should have to address.
You have to. It's
in
Saturn,
a
yeah.
way so that it doesn't become the conflict it could create
Exactly.
or the challenge it could
Makes sense.
be.
Yes.
And then everything comes to a halt.
Wow.
And then
Exactly.
because I need my August to come around. I need my May to be the best.
Yeah. So I mean, and
love
like
it.
obviously, like I mean, I could go into so many other
course.
things.
What
but
about
I think,
relation? Just say anything about his relationship.
well, I
or
mean,
is that something
you've-
you're going to do with both of us? I'm not
you
sure.
I mean, your energies around relationships in particular, you've been going through, I would say, like, this was like, when was this? 2022, 2023, there were eclipses that were in your relationship sector. So that either obviously brings important decisions and situations between you, like making long-term plans or
Right.
making some shifts happen in the relationship, but it can also affect important business relationships, like changes of an agent or changes of a manager or producer, these kinds of things.
Interesting.
You're not going through that right now. So that's done.
Yeah.
So that's sort of that. I mean, the next big cycle that I think is going to really add more emphasis to your significant partnerships of any form is really going to start in 2027.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean,
So everything
if-
is status quo.
yeah,
Let's
I mean,
just
there's
keep
like
it
we don't
moving.
have eclipses that are taking place here. We don't have a major planet that's transiting here, and I think, you know, when obviously those kinds of situations do pop up, we have to address them. Of
course.
But every year, because the sun goes through every zodiac sign,
Yeah.
and every year, you know, we have a full moon and a new moon in every zodiac sign. So usually you're going to have these things that are going to be activated. I'm not super stressed about your relationship sector right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is astrology like yearly? Is it a yearly thing that you?
How often
someone does their
should
chart? How
somebody
often
do
people
it?
do their
like,
charts? I'm
like
curious.
what's a regular? Like with my coffee grounds, every coffee reading is different.
Yeah.
And even if you did it, you should wait 24 hours.
Sure.
But every single one is going to have a different focus.
Totally.
So
It's interesting.
if you're doing normal people generally do like one every month, one every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that they get, reacquainted, they get the balance back, or they connect with something and do a check-in for themselves. So
Totally.
when it comes to this, how often should,
Yeah. How often does someone get their chart?
yeah.
done?
My most popular reading that I do with
Yep.
people all over the world is the full yearly reading. And this in particular, not only do I go through all the key, information for the year ahead. If I've never done a reading, we talk about their natal chart. I also do tarot, and so I integrate that with it too.
Oh, wow.
So
tarot.
it's really cool because we get
interesting.
we get multiple lenses of what's going on. Like I could say, like looking at the chart and be like, oh wow, there's a really big focus in this month around love, and then we pull the cards,
Got
and
it.
then it's the King of Pentacles. So we know that there's going
Okay.
to be a love
Yeah.
that's an Earth sign man.
Got
So again, that's why I think it's really
It
cool
gives you
to
clues
Exactly.
and anchors.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
it.
So
Very
that's why I really
cool.
love it. So that reading is the most popular. I do have some clients that I work with on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Um,
Like Paul. Same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Some
I mean,
yearly,
I've
some
done-
every few months. Every
And
month.
you don't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
do the full
yeah,
scope, but you're
Got it.
doing a highlight of a specific thing.
Yeah.
Because it's such a, this is huge. The fact
Yeah.
that all the things that you just expressed
Yeah, but
to
so
me.
career is good for you, which is amazing. But
Career is-
health, you gotta kind of
health is the thing that I would be a little bit worried about.
Yeah,
but
well.
but the good thing about it is that especially like so for instance, like let's say I have some VIP or
Yeah.
celebrity or executive, whoever it be.
Sure.
They come to me, and sometimes they come with their management, and they're like, "This is the stuff we want to accomplish this year."
Right.
So like, let's say we're gonna drop an EP, and we want to film and we want to release the stuff.
Yep.
What are some
What's a
good days
good
that
day?
actually
Yeah,
work
yeah.
for me?
So
So
you can
that's
get that
why.
specific.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
very cool.
course.
Yeah, because not only that, but and this is why it's really funny because it's like, this is why when there's certain people that release certain things, even if I haven't worked with them, and I see that they're releasing it like on a specific day,
You know why they're doing it.
Yeah, I know. So I'm like, either they consulted with someone else,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I guess that they could be intuitive, but yeah, it's really
No,
crazy
that-
because
that
it's
they do.
Very
exactly
cool.
So that's
Yeah.
why, and it's
There's a
especially
way
for
that-
people, especially for people that I've worked with.
Absolutely.
Then I see them doing something later on, a couple of years later. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So anyways.
It makes sense because you have an insight, so you understand.
Yeah. So, and again, that goes back to like there are certain dates that are just really powerful and great for all people. Like, like you know, the sun will be in the same place as Jupiter on a certain day, so everyone will be lucky.
Right.
But for you,
I had no idea
Jupiter will be in the same place as your Jupiter throughout May, so you're
So
really
that's a good-
lucky.
that's a
Yeah,
good
not
month for him.
everybody, but you're really lucky that.
Because of the birth date, time,
Exactly.
everything. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was born the time that I did.
Okay, so what is
because I'm
mine,
like, oh my
Kyle?
God,
I'm
okay.
excited to hear mine.
I'm so excited.
Oh my God, I can't wait to
I can't even wait for May.
He's going to email this to us so we can look through it in more detail.
But the thing that I think is really cool about it is, and you probably have this too, is that like people come to you at the right times. It's like their soul needed it, or they
100%.
needed that guidance.
Yes.
You know, and more often than not, it is a time
Yeah.
right before something really big's going to happen.
Yeah.
100%.
But there have been a few times where it's like, you've got like 2 weeks left. And then they're like, damn it, you know? And I'm like, well, I mean, should have gotten
No,
it
he'll
you know?
get people that do like we did one a couple
did
days ago. It was
I
an
have
emergency
emergencies.
copy read.
Yeah.
And he really helped her.
And it's
she
about
cried and she sent me afterwards saying, "Oh my God, you don't know what he did for me."
But sometimes that's really, really challenging, especially when you're working with really powerful people. They expect that you can be like called at 3 a.m. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, you can't do that.
Oh, call me.
No.
I'm fine. I'm awake anyway.
No, I mean,
I'm at my 18th job.
No,
at
but
3
it's.
a.m.
I mean, I'm fine with it to a degree.
Yeah.
But I also like this is what can make it
You have
challenging
to
for me to
charge
date
yourself.
100%.
And I have to like, so for instance, with the
Yeah.
fires, which were really traumatic, they literally burnt out 200 feet from my house.
Oh.
And it was so terrifying. I mean, I'm still dealing with the anxiety from
Of course.
And I'm not a person that like naturally has anxiety.
Right.
Yeah.
Like-
Runyon Canyon, right? You're near Runyon. So
Yes.
is Runyon totally gone?
Well, now
or-
they have like cops completely blocking
Oh, so
everything.
you can't go and hike and run.
No, and
Runyon.
I'm really grateful. So I have the Citizen app.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because you're like, I'm getting,
Alerts.
notifications that there's like arsonists
I
that
know,
are like
it's crazy.
like all over the city, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, where is your humanity?
Right.
You know, like what
Like
makes
we
it
all live
Today,
like
a new fire
hello,
just
like
broke out. Hughes.
I know.
North-
I have friends that were all upset about
Through
that.
Santa
I'm like,
Clarita. I'm like, what?
I know. So
Crazy.
it just really, really just breaks my heart. But anyway, so
course.
that just the
Well,
fires
people
are-
that don't understand what that's like.
and
Yeah.
I now my energy takes it on.
Yes.
Oh, but,
and when you're present to it, you take on a different form.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so I rarely ever cancel clients. Like I just don't. I get in there. I get my job done. I love
Sure.
being productive. I love having 800 things on my list. Not all of it off.
Yep.
And I've actually had to reschedule several weeks of clients over the last.
But
Of
how
course.
could you not?
Because energetically, like if I'm not going to
Yeah.
give you
What-
110%
Right.
of my or 100% of my reading,
100%.
why would I just slough it off, especially when I don't have the energy to do it? Now,
I agree.
Again, for anyone that does want a reading, this is a very, very rare situation with the fires in Los Angeles. It's
Yeah.
not like I'm having anxiety every other week.
Right. Yeah.
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
so
No, I get
again,
it.
it's just
Yeah,
like
of
it's been
course.
really,
But
really traumatic.
You know
so,
what the crazy thing is? You're talking about the fires in LA and how it's consumed you because it's right at your front door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you and I think we thrive under pressure and we want to support
Yeah.
other people
Yes.
and what they're going through.
Totally.
But when
Yeah.
when there's something that drastic at your door, you can't even step out. You can't even breathe out. You can't your whole life is not just turned upside down.
We
but
live in a
everything
fire
around.
zone. Our place is surrounded by fire every year. This is the
We're
first year
kind of
it's
used
not.
to it. We get
The
it.
first year it's not. We had to evacuate at least every year. We're
Yeah.
evacuated every year. It's
and
crazy.
our house is the fire department.
They use it as the base
station
camp.
in the mountain. So they come. So that's how I feel
we live in the
protected.
hills.
So
Yeah.
I have firemen at the roof. I have firemen in the back. I have firemen on the side. They got their hoses.
I gotta
I'm
tell
like,
you,
"Did
those
put this out?"
firemen
They're
are
like,
hot.
we can't touch that one. We're carving a little niche.
Yeah.
You should leave, Paul. No, I'm getting you guys lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so, because
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm incapacitated, but I also can't leave.
well, I mean, I literally had to.
Yeah, of course.
and
Make him
course.
leave.
and I have a little puppy, and
Of course.
I love him. He's my little sweetie. But he's a Capricorn too. He's 20. He's actually your birthday. He's the 28th of December.
Oh my God!
Yeah, no, he's my little soulmate.
Well,
and
apparently I'm the 27th and 20. Can I celebrate both days?
I technically, I mean,
I celebrate my birthday for a fucking month. It's okay.
Even though they wrote down the 27th, if you were born like on 12/15, you're the 28th.
Yeah.
So your birthday's actually the 28th.
Sorry, bitch.
But-
Got to change your birth certificate and everything.
Well, I mean,
Kuwait.
I was born very fast and my mom was at a black tie event. From the black tie event, her water broke. So in her gown is how she delivered me. She never even changed into a hospital gown.
She's like,
she
that
delivered
fabulous.
me. It was like a soap opera scene. Everybody with the gowns went to.
But technically, it was the 27th in America, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? I was born in a different
That's
country.
true. That's true.
What are you going to do? I was born on Saints Day, Peter Paul Day.
Okay, can we get to my chart?
All
I'm
right.
really excited to
Let's
hear my
move
chart.
on.
Let's talk about
All right,
you.
my friends.
Yes.
So this is his natal chart.
This is mine,
And-
Patrik's chart.
Yeah.
We're gonna
For people
flash
listening.
these on the board.
Flash.
Yeah.
Woo.
Suddenly your nudes are all up in there. You're like in a jockstrap. No, just kidding.
I
Anyways,
made a whole bunch.
He did for the trip.
I make underwear.
He did. He made the hottest
wow.
underwear for me.
Oh,
for
you have no idea.
Germany.
Yeah, sexy.
You're
Okay,
like the
She
sorry.
likes to see me naked all the time.
So anyway, so this is your chart, and so this will always be your chart.
Okay.
You know, we can look at where the planets are.
Yep.
Now, this, as I said, is more important for me because it has your exact degrees.
Okay.
Now, when we
And
are,
you were born in the morning like I was.
I was born at 2:38
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah, look
So
July
at
9th.
that.
you, my dear, are Cancer.
Yes.
And I love Cancers. They are just some of my favorite people. And that's why when I was looking at your charts, I was like, I'm really like, no wonder I get along with you guys. No wonder there's like an instant spark. So Cancers, they're very sensitive.
Very.
They also have that sponge-like quality. They do have a deep tie, no matter what, always that has to deal with like either home, family,
100%.
domesticity.
100%.
And it's interesting, and I was actually talking about this with a client earlier today. Cancer is like the mom of the zodiac sign, whereas Capricorn is the opposite, which is like the dad of the zodiac sign.
Really?
Yeah, so
we're mom and
that's
dad.
why it's really interesting that you guys are it's
Paired.
Yeah, well, it's
It's very weird because our
It's-
daughter growing up called me dad and him mother. Because
Well,
he was
that's
the
because
mother type
you're
figure.
the biological.
Yeah, a bit.
yeah, I mean, I think that
But he was more nurturing than me.
Yeah, but again, you know, it's
Maybe.
it's when it comes to compatibility, which is we should have another show about this and talk about this in the future. But compatibility,
Yeah.
you do often find that polarities, which is the opposite, do attract. So
Okay.
you know, we would see that would be Aries and Libra, that would be Taurus and Scorpio. That would be Gemini and Sagittarius. Then we have obviously Cancer and Capricorn, and then we have Leo and Aquarius, and then we have Virgo and Pisces.
So we are
It
opposite
does.
completely.
You are opposites, but the
Okay.
thing about being on the same polarity in astrology is that you actually are very similar in certain regards. They tend to have certain things that are very important. So Cancers and Capricorns, they really like to balance their private and public life. There's a big part of that that's really significant. They're having a home and having and being traditional tends to be traits that are really crucial to them.
Yep.
Whereas the Cancer tends to focus more on emotional security. Capricorn tends to focus more on like business and foundation.
I could see that.
security.
I could see
So
that.
again, those are.
I mean,
those
I'm
are-
good business wise, definitely, but I emotionally, like, yeah, I think that's me.
Yeah. So again, so you know, there is that. I love that. You know, we would say, for instance, that would be about anywhere from like 30 to 60% of a reading. Looking at that, you also have multiple placements, planets in Cancer, so you
Okay.
have more Cancer. Like your Venus and Mars are in Cancer. So again, Cancer energy is pretty potent for you. Now,
Okay.
the other thing that I want to mention here is
Yeah.
that your rising sign is Gemini.
Oh no!
Oh,
Fuck!
my
Yes.
Relationship just
So
ended.
when you're reading for a horoscope,
But Geminis are batshit crazy.
that's not true. Every zodiac
I've
sign
dated
is
all of them.
batshit
They're all
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
No, really think about it because everyone, it's more nuanced than.
Well, I
than
want to look
just-
at the good side of the Gemini right now
Yeah.
because it has to do with you.
Okay, if there's a good side, let's hear the good
So when you are reading for any horoscope, you are going to read for Gemini and Cancer.
Okay.
Now, Geminis are known to be tremendously They need constant communication and stimulation. If they do not get it, they get really bored and
That's
then they
me.
get depressed.
That is me.
So they like constantly need to be doing
It's
something.
insane.
And it's like
I'm
no,
ADD, ADHD.
constantly.
Always.
It's like oh my god, they're natural communicators.
100%.
But one thing that I love about this is
Yeah.
not only are your sun signs really compatible, you're both air sign rising. So Gemini and Libra. That's also one of the things that unites you.
Oh, babe.
Yeah,
this.
so that I really love
gonna
that for
keep you at least
yeah,
another
so
day.
that really works a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why again, it's like when I'm talking about compatibility, there's like so many things to look at.
Yep.
So that's really, really beautiful and powerful. The other thing that I want to mention for you, and this is so crazy. So you guys are gonna like. I don't know if you're gonna cry or you're gonna laugh or you're gonna throw something at me.
no.
So there are many different ways that you can look at a compatibility between a chart. And
Okay.
there's also one way that you can look at and you can see soulmate connections.
Oh.
And it usually represents if your sun, the one person's sun,
Yep.
is in the exact same place as someone's moon. So now
So
here,
one person's sun
In the
is
same
in the
place as someone's
exact
moon.
same place as someone's moon.
yes.
Got it.
So look at this. Your sun is at 6
Paul.
degrees.
Paul's sun is at 6
Of Capricorn.
degrees.
My sun, Capricorn, is at 6 degrees.
And his moon.
And my
Is at
Patrik
He's at
degrees.
7 degrees.
7 degrees.
Of
Oh, wow.
Capricorn.
And if of Capricorn,
So, your
your
sun,
moon is in Capricorn.
and but the fact that they're at
the same,
same
degree.
degree.
Yeah, that's interesting.
so
Is that rare or is that?
yes.
It is.
Well,
okay.
I mean, it's not rare when we look at a really strong connection of a relationship.
Yeah.
And so that is one way of looking at like a soulmate vibe. It's one of the greatest levels of compatibility between two people.
Wow.
So
I could
you know,
see that 100%.
But again, that's why it's like let's
Makes
say
me connect
he's-
with you more now.
Yeah, so it's like you might feel the energy of like you're going through something,
Right.
but he's intuitively, energetically feeling it when you're physically going through it. So
That's
that's why
so
you.
fucking true.
Yeah, so it's like you're the one. You're like, oh my god, this is going on, and he's internally being like, oh my god,
he
this
feels
is
it and he doesn't
Yeah,
know how
and
to
so he's like
express it sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I love that for you. It's one of the greatest connections of a compatibility chart.
I like that.
So love
Your
it.
moon is
I-
in Capricorn.
Yeah, one thing I do
Ooh.
want to mention here, also is I wanted to pull up your comparing your charts of your like compatibility in a more complex way.
Yep.
Look at this. Look at
What is
this.
that?
between-
Okay, so explain
Yeah,
that.
so these are your. I mean, granted, this would be obviously like this is AI. It's a computer.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would
but it's
calculate
colors.
it.
I know what the colors
And
mean.
it breaks down different
Overall
areas.
score.
Yeah, so it shows.
It says overall score for, I don't know what this is. It says 7. Long term 5.
Yeah.
Career support 7. Home and family 6. Communication 9. Money 8. Romantic attraction 9.
Is that between us?
Yes.
Oh, so what's the good score and what's the bad score?
All
There's
of those
no
are
bad
all
They're
of
all
those are
good.
great scores.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Anything like
It
I would say
doesn't fluctuate to like, oh, one is 0 and the other.
Yeah.
We're all like very connected to each other in all capacity.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
And the romantic attraction is a 9.
Which one's
Yeah.
that? Oh, communication.
Yeah.
Nine.
So for instance, obviously, so one of my favorite apps that I work with is Time Passages. I think it's an incredible app.
Okay.
One of the websites that I'll sometimes work with is AstroSeek.
Yep.
It's all very technical. If you don't know about astrology, it can be very confusing. So,
Okay.
If you are looking for an app that is, I feel like very sort of generally user friendly, I like the Pattern.
Yeah.
That's really great too. I hate
Okay.
CoStar, so I don't use CoStar.
See, when I'm yelling at you, that's communication.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Then we get a lot of fucking communication.
But yeah, I mean, on this
it's
connection
a
here,
9.
yeah, but anything that's even above, like I would say, like a 4,
Yeah.
is still technically really good because like 5
Okay.
is still really
But
strong.
our numbers are all.
But you didn't say anything about my career this year or
Well,
nothing.
we haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah,
Oh, we
haven't
haven't.
talked
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
Oh, okay.
yeah. So the reason I wanted to get into that is because, for instance, the moon sign.
Yes.
That's the third piece of your big 3.
Okay.
And that was a part of the compatibility. So that's why I just wanted to like sprinkle that in there.
Okay.
That's so
I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
We're so compatible, babe.
Yes.
Love that.
So the next time I yell at you, it's communication. It's
That's
a
what
9.
he's gonna say now. Oh my
You're like,
God.
I'm gonna be on level 9.
That's right.
Volume, You're like, right.
There
I
he
love it.
is.
All right, so now let's take a look at in regards to some of like the predictions and energies you're going through.
Yeah.
This is also really lovely stuff.
Okay.
So the first thing, as we were talking about, obviously you're a Gemini rising, and
Yes.
your first house is Gemini. Don't hate on it. It brings you more. It brings you more layers. It brings you more opportunity to explore adventure and put yourself out there and communicate. And so don't hate on it. You know, I literally, there's nothing bad, you know, in a rising sign. You know, we can all have challenges, but again, don't hate on what makes you beautiful.
Got it.
And so that is there.
And it's only a rising sign. It's not my sign. It's just a
Well,
rising
the rising
sign.
sign's really important. So it is really crucial.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So
But your moon is in Capricorn.
yeah, you have
Your rising sign is in Gemini, but the good parts of the Gemini is what you're attracted or connected to, not so much what you've experienced.
Yeah,
because
Okay, I'll
take
they
that.
don't know how the Gemini really works.
Got it.
Totally. So the other thing I want to mention here is that from the transiting planets, as the planets are moving right now,
Yep.
Jupiter's in Gemini. And Jupiter has been in Gemini since May 24th. So the dawning of...
Jupiter is in Gemini now.
Right.
I was in Jupiter.
No.
No, this year. You're in
I
Jupiter,
had
in May.
yeah, in May.
In May. That's this year, not last year.
Your Jupiter's in Gemini
Yes.
in your natal chart, but you aren't Jupiter.
No, I know.
Yeah, but yeah. So this is also one of the things that makes you guys really compatible is because your Jupiter's in his first house.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're in one of the luckiest periods of your life, but it's more of like it's like a opening a new storybook.
Okay.
You're in a period of new beginnings, lots of new situations, new projects. This began since May 24th of this year, and it's going to last until June of this year.
I like that.
Okay. So after that point in time, your income is going to increase. That's going to be, you're going to start seeing more projects, more income. That will naturally take place. But one thing that I really want you to think about, whether that's tonight or this weekend or sometime soon, if you knew that you were planting the seeds in all different areas of your life right now
Yes.
to build for the next 12 years, what would you build? What would you start? So this is a very auspicious, fortunate period to do it. Yeah, because Jupiter's always moving through the sky, but it's simultaneously tremendously lucky for both of you right now.
That's good, though, because we're
course.
together. So that's
Of
good.
course. Yeah. Well, that's again, when we're looking at relationships and compatibility, we often see that people are being both aspected or
But both
benefiting.
lucky, so both in the same...
Typically, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. I like that.
So I love that. So that's really, really major. The other thing that I want to mention for you here is that Saturn is currently in your sector of what I call fulfillment.
Okay.
And so this is going to remain to be here. This is going to be until pretty much like 2027.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And what it has been doing, and this has actually been, I would say, over the last year even, is on one hand, it's helping you streamline around your long-term goals, hopes, and aspirations. You're like, you know what? I don't know if I really want to do that anymore. Or I really want this. It's about being more intentional and being more practical and realistic about your goals. And
100%.
So you're really in that place. However, you've
think
also lost some friends over the last year too.
Oh, yeah.
You've been weeding people out because you're
I
like,
have.
this bitch does not vibe with me. No more, not interested. You're going to keep doing
That is
you're-
so true.
You're still going to be dealing with this until 2027.
Oh, great.
But it's not a bad thing ultimately because it just means that you're not on the same life path.
Mm.
And yes, there can be drama. Yes, there can be, things.
Yeah.
Gays,
Yeah.
But, so there is that sort of thing. The other thing that's really exciting though is with Saturn being the planet of permanence, you are very likely, the more methodical and practical you are about building towards some really major goals right now, you're going to achieve some of the biggest things that make you the happiest and things that you're going to be like, this is my fucking crown. Like, like I wanted this my whole life and I finally got it because I really worked for it. There's also the good thing about this is that any new friendship that you form during this period in time is probably going to last forever. They also are probably going to be pretty successful people that will also open doors to you. So like, for instance, hopefully I'm one of those friends and like, then we all become lifelong friends. And do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's part of the weeding out process of Saturn being in this sector for you is that you have to let go of certain connections if they're
So it's opening up. So when you're letting go, it's opening up.
And I have let go of
It's opening up
things.
space to be able to then bring in what you would have otherwise thought you don't have time for, that you can't or you don't need, but then they're present so that they can fill in the void.
Yeah. So for instance, when I was doing this, so when I was going through this, I did leave that relationship with that man, but it did open me up to new connections with new people. And ever since then, I've really been a part of and built a beautiful community of people here.
Yeah.
And even now, you guys are going to become a part of that. And I'm so lucky to be around, incredibly talented, incredibly authentic,
Yeah, I agree.
and
Yeah,
and
that's important to
successful and spiritual and kind human beings.
Yeah.
And in LA, it took me almost 10 years to really make that fully happen. But these are relationships that are going to be there, not only to like open doors to things that I want to pursue, but also to, hopefully
But
be,
it's
be
your
there.
village. It's what
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
makes
100%.
I
I love this.
Yeah,
This is
so
really cool.
I'm
Yeah,
so
you-
excited. I can't wait to
you both really-
totally read it. Remember
Yeah.
when we went to Laguna Niguel? No, Orange County. No, Newport Coast. And I did a coffee reading.
Yes.
And she had
Yes. We did the coffee
His-
reading party in Laguna Beach.
Yes, and
Yeah.
she had you had done her
Oh, really?
astrology
Yes.
year thing.
Oh my God, I love
Yeah,
it.
she told us about it.
And she had it
Yeah.
there, and we all went through it.
Yeah, it was very cool.
It was really cool.
It was
I
like
love
this
it.
thick,
She was
though. She
very
was a
excited.
packet of stuff she had.
I mean, I
like,
send a lot of stuff.
She was
to the
like,
people
"Oh my
I work
god!" I said,
Yeah.
are there any trees left?" Because you're like printed like everything.
but it was very cool.
It was really.
I love
cool.
that.
Well, yeah, I mean, and for instance, like even on
Mm-hmm.
like as my brand builds, like I would like to release like individualized, personalized books, and
Sure.
and have jewelry and
Yeah.
other products and things. But I'm currently like my main focus right now is like building out, my television portion of the media.
Yeah.
Sure.
media. And then eventually I'll be able to bring in more people.
Will
to-
you ever start your podcast back again or no?
I love podcasts. I love podcasts. I my sort of like my inner dream right
Yeah.
now is that if I found someone that, or a group of people, or Sirius XM or whatever, to like, they produce it. I just get to come on each week
And be talented
and
and
be
do it. Yeah.
talented.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of work.
It
Either
is
way,
work.
it's
Yeah.
a lot.
Well,
of
because
work.
I'm already writing everything that I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
especially, because so if I'm doing like pop news, we're talking and breaking down like what's the zodiac
Right.
sign, what's actually going on, or
Yep.
I'm already spending hours and hours and hours and hours not even being involved with actually being on it. So
Yeah.
it's, again, I love hard work, but financially it wasn't a move that I think I could have maintained.
Got it.
Because I just didn't have the manpower, and
It's a lot of
I wasn't
work.
making any money from it.
Yeah, I
And
get it.
there are other ways that I think, again, being a guest on any podcast, I'm like,
Yeah.
let me know. I love
Absolutely.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Very
mean, we'll
cool.
see. Maybe we'll see. Yeah.
All right, we're going to do some hot topics. So we always like to bring our celebrity guests and give them a couple hot topics that are things that are going on in the media today and get your opinions on it.
Sure.
Julia Hart wins a big in divorce settlement. She walked into her $65 million penthouse.
Can you believe that?
She got like, I don't know,
$10 million in
gazillions of
cash?
That's
dollars.
insane.
And she was like, I'm wearing my fur. Look at me now.
Well, I want to know what her sign is.
I know, right?
That
that would be interesting.
because that would be like
she was battling her husband, Scaglia, for so,
So long.
long. And this week, I think
And
it was
it just
yesterday,
came through. I guarantee
she
you.
buried him in court.
I guarantee you, you would have done and said that your best month to close is January.
you're like now.
Yeah, do it
Can't get
now.
internet for some reason.
What's your opinion on it?
I mean, I think that, ultimately victory is a beautiful and powerful thing. And I'm really happy that she's able to really significantly walk away with that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, any divorce settlement is never going to be
Equitable for anybody.
a
It's not.
happy sort of thing.
No.
But I'm just like, hell yes. Congrats. That's, I mean, again, because, the layers of the pain that she's going through
Yeah.
of the divorce. in
Honey, at
itself.
least you'll
I know.
be showered in fur and
Yeah,
diamonds.
she's like, give me all of that.
She
you
did
know?
work. That whole business, they worked together for the longest time. So I'm cool with that. Okay, I've got one. Balenciaga unveils the Barefoot Zero shoe today. Have you seen it? Our other hot topic is Balenciaga revealed they call it the Barefoot Zero shoe. Have you seen it? It is Like this should be runway rundown because this is the most hideous shoe I've ever seen. It's so expensive.
I would never ever wear that or buy that, and I wouldn't. I just feel like
I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
Your foot's exposed. I can't see you going through the subway with it or even walking down the street because it's going to fly off your.
That's why it's called the
It's
Barefoot Zero, but it's so expensive
it's
too.
really
I can't believe how
impractical.
expensive this shoe
I
is.
can't.
I wouldn't wear it.
I wouldn't either. How
I
do you
would
wear
dig-
it though? It doesn't
No.
even stay on. It's only held
I'd
by
rather
your
walk
toe.
barefoot and know that I'm on the floor
Right.
touching every
You're
glass
but
and
but
nail.
realistically, you just want to glide. You just
I
wish you could
do.
glide everywhere.
But it's like okay, like if it's Balenciaga, would you be like, okay, I'll wear it because it's
No.
Balenciaga?
My toes are my toes.
yeah.
Sorry.
I also
No.
just don't think toes are super sexy.
You know
I'm
what
just
that
like, I
is?
don't think about that.
It actually reminds me of when you go to get a pedicure and then they give you that little.
Or when you're going to a spa and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go get a massage.
Oh.
Like that's
That's
totally
what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really stupid shoe, but
I
it's
don't particularly
it's,
like
It's
it.
not a shoe. Let's call it what it is. A piece of
a sleeve.
rubber. On,
It's a
you know
sleeve.
what? I rather get. I know what I'm going to do.
Wouldn't that
I'd
hurt
rather
your
go to the grocery
toe?
store.
I think it would
Yeah.
hurt your big toe.
I'd rather go to the grocery store and get 2 little grocery bags and tie it around my pinky.
Oh my God. So on that note, we should do runway rundown because we always do runway rundown with our guests. We're going to show you a couple pictures. Paul's going to describe for our audience what the pictures are, what they're wearing. And we're going to give our critique and get your critique.
Okay, love it.
Just like we do on Jeff Lewis.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm going to do one. This is Adrian Brody, and he was at the Golden Globes. Paul, can you describe to our audience what he is wearing? And I fucking loved this.
He's wearing a tuxedo in an emerald green with 6
Gorgeous.
buttons, covered satin lapel. The shoes are polished. He looks very handsome.
Do you like the
And it's,
corsage, though? The little corsage?
I think
looks great.
I think you could have done without it.
Yeah.
But adding
love
that
it. I love the color.
makes it look like he just wants to take a little whiff of you, or it's so romantic.
It's really, really
and I
lovely.
love the
And it's
color on
double-breasted,
him.
right, Paul? It's double-breasted.
Double-breasted.
Yeah.
And it's a high collar, but and the satin buttons
Love it.
that match the satin.
This is
lapels.
Prada, by the way.
Very elegant.
I just think
Yeah.
that the color is not something we see quite as often,
Yeah,
and I
but it's a
really think that it
gorgeous color for
stands
its
out.
complexion, too.
It
100%.
definitely has that luxurious, elegant sort of feel to it, but it's very still masculine and grounded within it. So I think that is it's a really nice
And he's
piece.
only buttoned the middle button, which is exactly how you should.
I saw
be
that.
wearing
Yeah,
it.
I like the way he was wearing the jacket.
Yeah, you wear it with the one button.
I've had
and
stylists tell me that too. So,
so
I was like, okay.
gorgeous.
And I love that his pants are so tailored.
What's going on with his
Tapered.
shoes?
I hate Prada.
Okay,
I
okay.
hate
Yeah.
when men don't
I almost wish he
tailor
was
their
doing something
pants.
a little cooler with the shoes, though.
Really? I like the shoes.
Well,
I
they're
just feel
not
like-
they're not your typical tuxedo, but they're glossed with the soles that are thicker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just feel like, especially, you can do such really cool stuff with shoes. So my mom, for instance, as I had mentioned, she's one of my stylists, and she went to school for fashion, and she's certainly not at your levels, my dears. But she's got me some really fabulous, really interesting shoes. We went to New Orleans, and I got these incredible. They're like sort of sparkly but understated and black. And like that's the kind of stuff where I'm like,
Yeah.
If you have the resources and you have the stylist and fashion, throw something else in there that's even a little
Was that
bit.
your first time in New Orleans?
Oh, so that was our trip last year. It was.
Oh, we have
had
a
such
house
good
in the
time.
French Quarter. He loves New Orleans.
I really had a good time. Oh, and it's funny because I matched with this guy on Tinder, and he literally thinks I'm his husband, and I'm like, when are you moving to LA then?
That's so funny.
He's like, well, you're gonna come here, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
we were
It's
such
hard
whores
for
in we were
people-
such whores in New Orleans.
It's hard for people
We
from
really
New
were.
Orleans to move to LA because
Yeah.
the language, the culture, and the finances are very different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's a different world.
But he loves it. He loves
I
New Orleans.
did. Yeah, I really did. The food was fantastic.
Oh my God.
I was really, really, really
Yes.
into that. That was lovely.
So the next one I got is Timothy Chalamet, and he is wearing a jumpsuit created by Hayder
Okay.
Ackerman.
He's a Capricorn.
Is he?
I
See, he's
fucking
creative.
loved this look.
He's wearing a cowl neck halter
Hot.
in a satin with a tie, a satin tie
It's a
around
jumpsuit,
his
babe.
neck.
It's a jumpsuit.
It's not a jumpsuit.
It is. Look at it. He said it's a jump. Put it together. It's all together, one piece.
It's not one piece.
Look,
and it's a pair of pants. No, and it's a pair of pants. It's a top, a pants, and the.
We're still going to argue about this. That is a jumpsuit. It's all one piece. He made a big deal about it being a jumpsuit.
If it's one piece,
It's a backless
it's
jumpsuit.
a pair of pants with a cowl neck shirt that they attached.
Okay.
To make it a jumpsuit because the lines are pants in a shirt.
But-
and then the tie
Yeah.
is just like an ascot that's tied around his neck, falling in the front, which is a traditional
Yeah.
necktie, but not worn in a traditional way.
This was in Cannes. I love that.
Yeah, I think
this
he's
was at one of the premieres, and I love the color red.
Yeah, he
wore.
looks. That's
Wow.
really powerful.
I like
That's
that.
exciting.
I would wear something like that. Would you wear something like that? I would.
Yeah.
You would
totally
look
would.
hot in this.
Thank you.
I wouldn't, but you would look hot in this. I'm a
Yeah, I
little
think
more
it's fun.
modest. I would like to be covered up. I don't know why, but
I don't know.
He has more confidence than anybody. He can.
Do you agree with the socks though?
I
Those are
actually,
boots. They're
I
not
like the
socks.
boots. That's one of those things when I was
boots.
looking down there, I was like, yeah, I think it's fierce.
I do like the boots.
I
then.
think it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
like that's a
boots that-
great statement. Like for me, like again, like if
Yeah.
I'm gonna, I was actually gonna wear like some.
And
really
I don't think
fancy
he's
shoes
wearing
today, but-
underwear. I
Oh.
can tell you he's not wearing
Oh, he's
underwear.
He's not wearing underwear. Oh, he's not wearing underwear. Not wearing underwear. Close up on the crotch.
He's not wearing underwear. Well, I guess you don't have to.
No lines. I love it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's a great look.
Why be so constricted?
Now, on the other hand, we've got Nicholas Alexander Chavez from
Okay.
the Melendez brothers, and
Okay.
I hated this look at the Golden Globes. He's wearing a double-breasted maroon. Can you describe it, Paul? I hated it. It looks so.
He's wearing a maroon
80s.
suit that doesn't fit him quite the way it should.
Right.
Paired with a burgundy colored satin shirt with the 3 buttons on top. So it's almost to the navel open. So the color, number one, is too dark. Number two, it's not a flattering color. The shirt doesn't match the jacket. And it looks like it's missing so many components and it looks cheap.
Could he
It
have
could
saved
be
this look if he wore like
expensive.
pearls or a cool necklace or something? Or no, just the look is tragic.
No, he needed to wear. Number one, he needed to put pocket square. Number two, he
Okay. I
needed to
agree, yeah.
he
Yeah.
needed to have a shirt that was more identified instead of more relaxed in the context of what he's trying to accomplish.
And it doesn't look tailored,
His
right?
hairstyle
This does not look tailored.
Does not fit. He looks like a tore up porn star going to the porn awards, and he was been up for like 48 hours.
I swear, this
Yeah.
is not from the
The hair-
AVN Awards. This is from the Golden Globes.
Yeah, the hair. I definitely feel like I mean, even if this like weird swoop thing was gone, I think it'd be fine.
yeah.
But I also feel like it's like
He
this.
doesn't look put together.
No, the purple I think is an interesting choice, and I actually have like I've been going like my mom and I have been going like my wardrobe is like I need like 5 closets.
Like colors?
That's why like I hope whoever I do end up dating or marrying like is kind of my size because you get all my clothes. But I have something that's like that purple suit.
Yeah.
But I feel like what would be interesting is like I don't really like the red with that underneath it.
No, I don't either.
But like, what about like what if you did something that was like not white, but like I don't know what like a pink,
Maybe a
or
pale
like a
eggplant,
pale
like a
color.
soft-
That could work.
You know,
That could
and
work.
maybe like
a mandarin color,
something
even that had
interesting and
some
different.
texture.
And then I feel like it could scream a little bit.
This
more
one
for me.
came out of an Amazon package,
Yeah.
and he put it
But-
on right before he walked.
You know what I don't like about it, and I always hate this. One thing I love being with my husband is he tailors all my clothes.
Yeah.
Everything is tailored to fit me to a T.
I miss that because like when I was working with one of my other stylists, we would do that constantly.
Yeah. Men don't do
I
that for some reason.
I'm so busy as it is
Yeah.
that my other stylist, she lives in Chicago now. She's left LA. I don't have time to go.
You got to come see me, and I'll
Like,
do it
I-
in 12
And
minutes.
and
I
by
have
the way, this
so
was
many clothes
Versace.
that
you
need-
could be up here doing your readings while I'm tailoring them.
Babe, by
downstairs
the
in
way,
my
this was
sweatshop.
Okay, well, we need to talk
Versace.
about it.
Nicholas Alexander Chavez is wearing Versace, and it
Well.
I didn't like it. I just didn't like
We'll
it.
talk.
I don't
we'll
think.
talk about yeah.
I don't think Versace got to see that because he'd be turning over if he did.
Okay, we have one last look before you do your coffee read, and this is probably going to be you, Kyle.
Uh oh. Oh my God!
So, explain what he's wearing. I kind of like it. I kind of don't. I don't know if
You look so cute.
it's kind of cute. I
can say that you're wearing
It's gray,
very
right?
interesting linen jacket that is stylized, casual, with a collar that you have up, which is, I think, your signature, because I think you do that all the time.
Do you always put your collar up?
Yeah.
Not always, but I didn't see the photo. Oh, yeah. That one. Oh, yeah. So that's one of my favorite designers.
Yeah.
And
It's very high styled jacket where it's got
It's fitted, right?
lines.
It's totally fitted.
yes,
It's got
incredible.
detail. The buttons match the and it's got very
The only
element
thing I think you're
details.
missing is like a pearls or necklace or something on the neck.
So actually, originally,
Or like maybe like
there's
a little-
another photo of it. So what I had done with it, we weren't planning on even buttoning it or unbuttoning it too much because it actually goes around my neck.
Well, you're wearing a V-neck tee underneath it.
Well, we did that in order just to for no sweating.
Got it.
So
Got it.
I do love this look.
It's nice.
Ron Thompson is one of my favorite designers. This is Ron Thompson.
It's cute.
Like his stuff is really. He's similar enough to John Varvatos, who I love.
Yeah.
So those are sort of like go-tos for me on a lot of things that I buy. But I
like the color too on you, actually.
So
The
that's
gray.
why with this, my mom, she was like, we want to find interesting, unique stuff. And this is apparently more of a style that we see in Europe than in
It's very
the United
European.
States. So yeah, I was really, really pumped about this
you won't be able to
piece.
use this jacket where you're going, but
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
a great
no.
idea. In
Yeah.
the summertime you can, but not
But it's
when you're
such a
going
European
now.
Yeah.
hot look. I really liked it. I
You
just
look
think you're
really,
missing
really-
something on the neck. That's the only thing I think.
You
you're
look
missing.
really,
Thank
really
you.
nice.
Yeah.
You look sharp.
And you know what
look
else I
very
think you're missing is a really nice watch.
You're right. Yeah, I've been thinking about buying one.
You need a
I
good
do
watch
have-
if you're doing a high end
Yeah.
European suit like that or suit jacket. You need a nice watch.
Yeah, well, my plan is I want to do a couple more photo shoots this year before we start production on some of the TV stuff.
Yep.
And so
It's a good look on you.
I
I
do
like it.
have several different things, but maybe we'll go through some pics or
You look
something.
really
and-
great. I love
I like
it.
it.
Thank you.
Oh my God, Kyle, are you ready for your coffee reading?
Yes, I'm so excited. Oh my god.
She's been waiting forever.
This podcast is brought to you by Her Dat Media and American Media Television. Executive producers are Patrik Simpson, Pol Atteu, and Pat Safford. Produced by Jordan Hill and Sarah Silicula. Shooting and editing by Jordan Hill. Music and theme song, Undressed, written and performed by Lionel Cohen, courtesy of DNA Productions. Artwork by Dominique Demetz, and hosted by Pol Atteu, Patrik Simpson, and Little Snow White 90210. Remember to follow at Pol Atteu and at Patrik Simpson and at Snow White 90210, and watch Gown and Out in Beverly Hills on Prime Video. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode.